Okay, I'm gonna start. Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Salihin. I am from Johor. In terms of I am a mere outsider when it comes to this topic. I don't really involve in terms of advocating for um, you know for peace, for Palestine, whatsoever. I'm just, getting myself updated to the latest issue, what is happening, who died, who survived, which part of the Palestine, is being occupied, whatsoever. So that's it.
Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum. So my name is Najmi. I'm from Terengganu, but I'm currently living in Subang, to be specific. I'm working here. I'm a journalist. So to answer the question whether how much that I involved with this issue, I would say, as my profession suggests, as a journalist, I need to keep up with these with many issues, up to date. But it doesn't to say that I'm very well versed in this developing um, crisis or this developing issue. I'm still learning. I'm still looking into many perspective lah, right? And yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Uh, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi everyone again. My name is Wahidullah and my last name is Najimi. I'm from Afghanistan and now I'm doing master degree of sociology and anthropology. And for this topic, if you want my own view, I'm also like outsider. I just like uh, checking about the updates mainly through YouTube because I don't have other social platform like Facebook, Instagram. I don't have any of them. So just like Al Jazeera News. Yeah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. So my name is Hashim Mujahid from India, and yes, I'm in the Department of Sociology and Anthropology, learning with these two great researchers right now. And yes, regarding this issue, I cannot say that I'm away from the site because I continuously gather information because of I'm writing a research article, the role of Arabs with the Palestinian issue. So I'm updating myself continuously. Sure. Yeah, that's it.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Wani. You can call me Wani. I'm from Langkawi, but I'm staying in KL because I'm working here. And working in a social media company. So I'm quite involved with this kind of this issue because, well, because it's social media, right? So but in terms of like involvement, like myself, I back when I'm in UIA, I was involved in NGOs um, that would advocate on Palestine issue. Um, yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's all. Mm.
Hi, my name is Muhammad. My name is Muhammad Iman Faiz. I stay in Gombak, and about that this issue, I also did not involve much. Just following the news and about the Palestine and all that. Yeah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Ashraf bin Ahmad, and also friend of our brother Idham. I am currently a university student majoring in fiqh and also fiqh right now in campus Gombak. I think that's all. And in terms of the involvement and the engagement, I think I'm not as frequent as some of my several friends that always sharing the info from Telegram or any other social media, like the amounts of the people have died or other related to political issue in Israel, economy and others. But I also like happy and to share any that related to Palestine to spread the awareness through my social media such as Instagram, Facebook, and also other platform. And also in our university also for like in some of the weeks we like happen to join like the talks and also have the demonstration, but it's not like frequent. But if there any of it, I will join it if I doesn't have any clash in my schedule. That's all.
I think I think Nurul Jannah didn't introduce herself.
Oh, you ghosted
That is
her.
okay. Assalamualaikum everyone. Hi, I'm Jannah. Uh, I was a student at Department of Sociology and Anthropology during my undergraduate days. Currently, I'm a part-time researcher. No, not researcher, just a research assistant. And I'm from Penang. Currently staying in Penang about the issue of Palestine and Israel conflict. I think I'm more of an observer. And I just keep up with the news just like everyone else. But also other than the things that happen between the two countries, I also always keep up with the news and the reactions among Malaysians and other countries as well. I think that's it from me. Thank you. Yes, clear. Yes.
So as you know, the Palestine-Israel war is like one of the important issue in our current era. So I want to begin with the question: what social media platform do you commonly use to get information about this war? Uh, who, uh who will go first?
Let me go first. Can I go first?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
So the most common social media platform that I use to find information about Palestinian and Israel war is definitely, I think, Instagram. Yeah, Instagram.
I think while me, other than Instagram, I use I'll get my information from Twitter and also TikTok. Yeah. That's it.
I also use Twitter, but I think most of the information I got it from the news outlet like CNN, Al Jazeera, whatsoever. So yeah, I don't really like to engage in the conversation on social media. So I'm just going to go straight to the source of the news.
Well, for me, I'm using Instagram, but I also use Twitter to find out, the news because, um, because if we look at, like the mainstream media is quite constricted. So even I mean even social media like Instagram, they have like a lot of restriction, but um yeah, but we can have like more I would say exposure because we can get like a real time um news from them. Yeah.
And yeah, from my perspective that I get the informations currently from Insta, and also actually maybe it's differ from other people from WhatsApp actually, because some of my friend, like I think for one day might be the 10 or maybe above status related to Palestine. I think maybe he share from like particular group that discuss from maybe Telegram, because I think that another platform are more tend to be like uh, strict, or I think can we cannot like openly sharing like the, I think because some of the platform there can actually detect when we like the word is like Israel, we need to be like typo and so on. In some of platform, we can like discuss or write it openly without feeling any worry that the accounts or the group will be banned. That's all. Yeah. Yeah.
For me, just Facebook because I don't use other platform too much. Just Facebook. But also not too much because I really use social media actually.
Yeah. So now that all of us like are to some extent are connected with this issue, so can you share your experience in using social media? Discuss like about the Israel-Palestine issue, how it started, and which issue you discuss it.
For me, I think the only engagement that I'm like been to so far about social media, my experience in social media about the war, it's only by reposting other I mean like reposting from posts that were posted by certain sources that I think are valid, really from like first hand sources. For example, like Motas just now, he's a journalist, right? Or like who's at Palestine right now. So the only thing that I do is reposting stuff, or like just how do I say, not reacting but learning the reaction that uh others opinion on the war itself. For example, um I'm an active user of TikTok. So on TikTok there's a lot of engagement about this war, and I find it helpful for me to like listen and read or learn about the war by having a new perspective from people from other countries. Do you understand? Yeah. Yes. Yes, I was trying to have new perspective on the war. I mean, yeah, macam tu lah, like that. I think so. No, for me, not anymore.
Yeah, I think I can relate with Jannah. My experience in using social media to discuss about this issue is pretty much the same with Jannah. Um, um, One of the things, because I said earlier that I mostly use Instagram. So nowadays that we have Instagram, we have a Insta story features, right? So by reposting, or by reposting, um, the all of the contents, but I'm not in a way that reposting, but making, like my own opinion, or making my own opinion or my thoughts on this issue, by writing my own caption. I'm not doing that, but I'm only just reposting. Yeah, just repost it, the raw content. uh, Example, like if you know Motas Aizaza, and like I post his feed, or let's say if I also looking up into media like Al Jazeera, or then I repost the Al Jazeera videos, for example. And that's pretty much my experience lah in using social media to discuss about this. But I've never, like giving my own thoughts or giving my own opinion, uh um that accompanied the video, the reposted video. I think I think I I think I just want to the reason is I just want to help the videos just reach as far as it can reach the audience, but not because if I make up into my own, giving my own thoughts or my own opinion, the people would not read. Nowadays, people has a short span of attention. They would not read, something that is long, a lengthy one. So I just want to help the video, the truth video, to reach as far as it can. And by another thing that I would like to highlight here is that, as a, not as a journalist only, but as a people, as a social media, as a responsible social media user, we need to know, we need to, somehow verify whether the videos are correct or not, because we've seen a lot of videos that has been misled, um, by, maybe the old videos have been resurfaced again, or maybe for example, another incident of, firework, for example, has been misled, uh, uh, has been misled into and related to the Palestinian and Israeli war. So I think, my experience is that I always being careful lah in whatever I repost the video. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, true.
Hi, Kim. It's very interesting that Najmi point out the misleading contents because I since I'm working in a social media company, I've been like at the other side of the coin. Like I'm at the other end, like so um so I am also a consumer, but in the same time we also restricted a lot of contents as well actually. And there's a lot, there's a lot of misleading contents that like repurposing old videos, or I mean like unrelated videos that, and say like, oh, this is what is happening in Palestine, things like that. Yeah, but in the same time, I mean like i'm I'm as a user, um I saw that after October 7th October, uh, we've seen that the contents has been like flooded with a lot of, Palestinian issue. Right, right now it's like it's decreasing, even though it's still ongoing. But people, I don't know why. Maybe because people, some said that because the journalists itself in Palestine are like dead, and uh yeah, and people, the awareness, the level of people, I think, um tak tahulah, mungkin tired, I'm not sure. So that's the experience that I'm having this year. But before that, I've been following some Palestine content creators that is talking about the history of all, and because it's a very long, it's a very long conflict. So so macam itulah.
Add, can I add? Can I point something before I forgot? Um, since I said that, I was based on my experience in, discussing about this, is by reposting the videos, just posting any news that I've encountered in Instagram. One of the things that I really make sure is that, since me as a human, everyone would not bear to see the gross or the disturbing or the distressing images of blood. So I restricted myself of not reposting that kind of images, because I felt like people, as I feel the importance of people knowing that what's happening around, what's happening there, but I don't have the guts to, like, or sharing those kind of distracting photos to let others or to let my audiences or my followers to see the same distracting photos. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, as a complete bystander on social media on the topic, I usually just keep myself updated. Just it's just that I think the most um engagement that I would do is to flag some of the comments that for me that it seem um like a hate speech or something like the comment that is somewhat extreme, promotes violence. So that is the most engagement that I would do on the topic, because the thing is, when I was working, and sorry, I had this discussion with my coworker before on the topic, when they somewhat equate the violence, the atrocity, I mean, not the atrocity, the war, the fact that Hamas is attacking Israel as an act of violence, and it implies that Hamas as a Muslim, does Muslims support violence? So that is the thing I that I really don't want to talk about, but I have to, because because um, I have to uh, I have to, how to say it? Um, I have to correct the perception that they have got, from the social media, from thinking, Islam as a religion that support violence. So I have to go about, explaining the history of Islam. The Islam is, the name Islam is coming from the word blah blah blah, which means blah blah blah. So yeah, so that is something that, for me, I should not explain, because it's supposedly coming from, someone who is knowledgeable. But I I think when it comes to people, thinking, your religion is, of something of a bad value, that is too much for me. And then I think I should, be involved. But my involvement is via, one to one. I don't really do that, on social media, because on social media they are like, always, our social media is very polarized. So I don't want to get into fight with, people of a different ideology, because that's like a total waste of my time. Flagging the comment, as in, if the comment promotes hate speech, for example. So I just, go to the report section, and then, just, flag that as a hate speech comment. So something like that. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Hate speech to, hmm. Mm. uh, I I don't know. I don't have the idea right now, when it comes to the topic of Palestine. But if I may bring it to another topic, like, if we're talking about the politics in Malaysia, for example. So hate speech in terms of, you nak kata the other group of people is of something bad, you know. So macam tu lah, macam I I would like to see, the whole discussion that they do on social media on certain topic, especially when it comes to Palestine. It's over um, um, knowledge based discussion, knowledge based discourse. So I don't want, you know um, I don't like to see when they start to use, certain when they start calling names, when they start, um saying something like, oh, baguslah Israel tu kena bomb. Yeah, baguslah it's good that the Israeli people die. uh, may yeah. So something like that, uh because um when when this group of people, when we a Muslim, we start saying those words, that would imply that we that the Islam as a religion supports violence.
Yeah. In my opinion, I am as like a normal citizen. Like I tend to be like more to observation, I think, and actually, like I said earlier, that I'm not frequent as my friend, like sharing the information about Israel Palestine, but I tend to like discuss it with my friend after like reading some of book and listening to several of podcasts and debates. And for your information, also in some of the social media platform, especially TikTok, they always have like debates virtually, like this debates about the meaning of maybe the terrorism. Is the action of Israel counted as moral or not, and so on. Like so, we can see like uh, two types of people, like the one that pro Israel and the one that pro Palestine. Because I think in terms of my capability, because I'm not like as known as maybe the influencer and so on. But I think in terms of maybe I like to write, but it's more related to my faculty or my Islamic studies. But I think some of people just can twist like the information according, like I wanna like state that, for example, like from the one at podcast saying that, like, even in the hospital Ashifa that has been bombed before this, has the leader of Hamas, you cannot bomb it. And then the people that pro Israel twist it, the information, like saying that the leader of Hamas, uh how we call it menyorok, hiding in that hospital, so that the Israel, so they bomb that hospital. So we can see how corrupt they twist the information and so on. Because of that, I think in my position, I tend to discuss it physically, like after observe from the books and also from the debates and podcasts that has been viral, I think, in a lot of platform. So I think it's more clear and more safe for me and more intellectual, I think, because in the comment there are a lot of keyboard warrior and so on, twisting the information and so on without any evidence or concrete information, and just like I think bluffing the just or like following the trend. So people talking about Palestine and Israel, and we also need to talk, even though your speech or your words are not inclined with the fact. I think like maybe we can say like lying and so on.
I think brother Akmal is remain. Yeah.
For me, I don't participate much because I just reading the news or what on the social media, but I didn't repost of what anything because personally I just don't like to share anything on the social media. So I just wait for my knowledge and all that. Yeah, because just at the same time I cannot make sure 100% that what people share is true. So it's better for me to not share. For me, uh,
Okay, got it. Thank you. And how often do you engage with social media about the Palestine-Israel conflict? Like sometimes, rarely, or like a lot? So, how often do you engage with this issue?
Let me start with me. Okay, so to answer that question, often, which means the frequency, I think I just check my Instagram daily, average daily spend, how much time I spend on Instagram. Average I spend on Instagram daily is around 3 to 4 hours per day, and it can be up to 5 hours. So yeah, so that's but to specifically answer this, how often do I engage with social media to this conflict, is that I think because um whenever I open my Instagram, my habit or my, what we call it, my behavior is that I always go straight to the Insta stories. So I will be viewing all those bubble all those red circle on the Instagram features and see all this content. And I would say like most of the content, if some of my following are sharing about this conflict, then that's the time when I accounted with those information. But also other than Insta stories, I also scrolling into the Instagram feed. So since I followed I followed Western media, I followed Middle East like Al Jazeera media. So whenever they have they posted the issues, then I tend to read, and then I tend to open up the link whenever they come in with the link. And also I think one of the things that I, if I can remember correctly, because I follow some of the journalists from, for example, for Al Jazeera, where her name is Sandra Gathman. She is one of the producer or one of the hosts for Start Here. Start Here is is the documentary, or is the show produced by Al Jazeera. and whenever she posted to her IG story, and then I tend to open up the videos and try to understand the conflict by watching the videos. Yeah, am I answering? Or because they because it's in-depth information, and also it's involved with interactive way, also the way they deliver or the way they presented the information, like it's not too much, but average. I mean, it's easy to understand. Yeah.
I super rarely I rarely engage um in the discussion or um nah, I never engage in the discussion when it comes to Palestine. I usually just read through some articles, yeah, I'm just doing that. And in fact, my Twitter algorithm doesn't really show the updates on Palestine. So yeah, that's how rare I got myself engaged to the issue. Mm.
For now, I also almost did not engage too much because, like I say, I did not use social media too much. Twitter, Instagram, all I stopped using it. So for now, it's just Facebook. But for Facebook also, I just use just before I sleep, just scrolling anything news. So now the issue of Palestine is more the strategic weather. So the news on that is not too much compared to before. Yeah.
Um, if, for me, every day, of course, like it's inevitable. Like it's my job, but as a user, like consciously trying to engage, it's decreasing. Because, well, of course, because of the algorithm as well, and it's actually yeah, to the point that it's actually affecting my well-being. I mean, I dream about it a lot. I dream about Palestine a lot. So yeah, so because I'm engaging it every day. Mm. I do. Actually, I do. That's why, consciously, I myself as a user, I staying away from the content. So because my job itself has a lot of contents on Palestine. So yeah. Mm.
Hello. I think in terms of this thing, I'm more to being like an observer and also a sharer, like sharing the information and the posts that related to the topic, and also spread awareness. Because I think in terms of like making the content and so on is not my specialty, I think. And there are more people that are more creative than me and so on, then I think I just like sharing it as uh, the content that has been shared is the fact, and then I will share it. Because some of people, I think it's not like I wanna say like to particular group and so on, but sometimes we wanna like spread awareness, but also we need to make sure that the awareness that we wanna share is inclined with the fact and not based on lying and so on. And also in UIA, also we have from IRK department, we have Dr. Bilal. He also Palestini and has like published, I think, the article based on the interview with the student according to the this issue, like sharing the fact about Palestine and Israel. I think if we wanna say it in a scale, I think maybe 6 from 10. I think it's not too frequent, but I share if I have time and so on. Because like right now, currently there are a lot of workload and so on, so maybe I doesn't have time to like scrolling in social media and so on. But if I have time and I think it's suitable and should be shared, and I will openly share it through my social media platform.
Haha. uh, can you hear me clearly? I just changed my voice. Uh, I think my engagement on social media on this conflict actually starts like before the 7th October event. It starts way back. I don't know which year, what time. But I've been like keeping up with the news and everything. But starting from the 7th October, I've been keeping up with the news like every day, every minute, not every minute, just every day. Yep. I think that's it.
If I may, Nurjana, what happened on October 7? Is it when the attack began?
Yeah, it's
Ah,
actually I mean, how do I say? The Israelis claim that they were having like music festival, and then Hamas like attacked them and raped.
ah,
Yeah,
I see. Okay, thank you.
right.
Yeah. And are you a part of any online community or group that actively discuss the Palestine-Israel conflict? Like, if you have specific WhatsApp group or a Telegram group that you are just specifically talk about the Israel and Palestine issue? Any of you? That's I think
No, it
that's
is.
question
No,
two.
no, no. It's from two.
After this,
Yeah.
yep. Uh, did did you guys get my question?
Yes,
Yes.
I
Yes,
very short answer for that. No, I do not.
I'm not, I mean, like not actively part of any community or group that actively discuss. I'm just like some, as I mentioned before, more of an observer and like reposting stuffs, but without any comments on it. Yeah.
Me
Okay.
too.
For
I'm
me,
not a part of any group whatsoever.
same with me.
Same with others.
Hasham, I think you can start with the remaining questions.
Yeah. So actually, in this part, we'll be like just discussing like what are your perceptions or like your attitudes towards the ongoing conflict between the Palestine and Israel. So let's start with the first question. Okay, like what emotion or like thoughts that come to your mind when you think about this war, or I think it's better to use the word conflict. Okay, so like what thoughts just it comes when you think about it. It can be anything. Okay, like everyone have their own perceptions, so you can share the points which you have. Yeah.
For me, it's a devastating. I feel so sad. At the same time, I feel angry to what's happening. Um, the fact that it has been more than or almost 100 days, and it's still counting till now. Um, yeah.
Okay, that's good to hear from you, Ashwin. Yes, others.
My thought on the matter is that I definitely feeling furious. I'm I'm very angry. It shows a failure of diplomacy, a failure of countries failed to work together to come to a common consensus. But the fact that that is the only channel, the most um, the safest and the most make sense channel that any countries could do, other than uh, other than teaming up with either side of the party and then attack another side of the party, which resulted in in this 40 years of never ending war. So my thought on the matter is, yeah, I'm mad. I'm just angry.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, I do have a very similar reaction to like both previous Brother Najmi and Brother Sol. Um, and also quite disappointed on the resolutions that were taken. I mean, like other than the conflict itself, looking into the pictures or what's happening there. Just like Sister Wani, I do feel a bit triggered, or like it's a bit disturbing for me sometimes. However, it does not like come into my like disturbing my daily activities. No, but it's quite traumatizing. Like every time I turn on my social media, the first thing that I would see are very disturbing images and everything. But I think it's good. Helps me to like not procrastinate or be on social media all the time. But also we can see I mean new perspective in like about how do I say, just like to see how the UN works, and like new things were exposed, like we got to understand how dysfunction of the UN. I mean, I don't know whether you get me or not. I'm not trying to lengthen the discussion, but I hope you get it. I think that's it.
mm, emotion and thoughts, right? So at first I feel hopeless, helpless, mad, sad. Every negative feelings there is. So yeah. But we can see how deeply ingrained this conflict is, and how the Zionists, US, and how UN works as well, like UN, YC, or those big organizations that that basically useless. So, but in the same time, I think what is happening right now, yes, it's devastating, but there will be a lot of awakenings. Like, that you can't have peace unless they won't have like a big war. Like, yeah. So, but this is, but we need to go through this phase first, and it creates a lot of anxieties, a lot of pressures. So, but yeah, I maybe there should be some kind of light at the end of the day, but it starts from us. Yeah, that is what my feeling is. Yeah, do you get it?
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Yes, others.
I think in terms of this, even though there are a lot of issue and I think bad incidents that happens to our friends, to our friends in Palestine, and also I want to say that don't forget to include particular dua for them. May Allah is everything for them. There are a lot of things that we can learn from them, like in our like materialistic world right now. Maybe someone will defend some someone will defend something because it has value, or maybe it is important for him or her, like more to material thing. But in terms of Palestine issue, we can see that there doesn't have any property left. They doesn't have money, they doesn't have foods, and also the electricity has been cut, the internet and so on. They doesn't have anything. Why they want to defend their land? It's just the land. It doesn't have any others. Is it you have like a large property there? No, has been bought. So from that we learn that they have like a very big spirits to defend the land of Palestine, the land of Anbiya, the land of Islam, and in the name of Islam and so on, they defend it's with their soul. Even though I think if we are in their position, I think we cannot make it. I don't know with others, but in my perspective, I think we cannot being like just stay there and defend ourselves, defend the country with a lot of. It's not just physical, but also spiritual and so on. The psychological torture. Because can you imagine like someone defending the country and doesn't have any property left, and also the help from other country might be some of it has been cut and so on, because it need to be like across the border and so on. So the Israel country or the Israel soldier can like prevent it from arrive to the land of Palestine. So I think even though it's not that we want to praise of these incidents, but I think instead of just romanticizing the bad uh, incident that happens to Palestine, we can learn more in terms of the faith and so on. And also, we need to improve ourselves in a lot of, I think, way and aspect, so that it can inshallah being considered as the contribution, even though it's not a lot, but it's still counted as our contributions to our religion.
Okay, that was a good thing. So I hope everyone answered for that. So we'll be moving on to the second one. So as we know that this conflict, especially the Palestine and Israel conflict, it didn't start from October 7th. I hope everyone agrees with that. So it started long back. So do you have any like experience like thinking sometimes like did your perception change anytime? Like for example, uh, I used to have some of my uh, students who I do lecture on this conflict. So sometimes they used to question me that I feel that Israel, they are the right people. Okay, even though they are Muslims, all these things. Okay, sometimes they ask me the question that why Hamas is killing the people like this. So now the question is thrown into you. Okay, so have your perception changed through this or towards this conflict? Yes.
Can I go first? I will
Yeah.
go first. I think my perceptions did change for a while. I mean, not kind of my stance, just perceptions on perspectives and infos, like how I view on the conflict itself. Like previously, I think by saying this, I will be answering question 3, describing any specific information that I gain, or like, okay, but the thing is how previously I've been exposed to this kind of news, I mean to this conflict since I was in my school days. My teachers, my teachers and everyone around me are very engaged and are very aware of the situation. However, previously I view this war from the religious perspective. I see this as a religious thing, and as time goes by and I grow up and like that, it's way beyond religion. It also involves economic perspective. I mean, economic factors, politics, the resident social and everything. So yeah, I think yes, my perceptions do change. However, my stance towards the conflict stays the same. I'm still on the Palestinian side. Yeah, that's
Fine.
it.
Thank you.
Um, can I go?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so I agree with Jannah. It didn't the conflict, the current or the recent conflict didn't change my stance, but it did change in terms of how I how do I say this? How I educate myself with the conflict, or how the root causes or the history of it. Like it drives me to know more, to explore more what is happening by watching, you know, the inside story, by watching the, 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 the history or the information or history, how does the conflict begins. And it helps, it add me to to educate more about how does this conflict uh, erupted or begin with. um I other than because way before this, we know that it has been a long decade issue. Even in fact before this recent attack or this recent issue, we know that the Palestinians are struggling with lots of issue that happened to them. For example, the settlement, the Israeli settlements, the oppression that they have endured, um, whatever the 1948 history, um, and I would say this recent conflict somehow educate myself to know more about the history. um, how does the Palestinians, for example, in East Jerusalem, losing their homes, they end up with the demolition, for example. So yeah, it didn't change my stance, but it changed the way how I perceive or how I educate myself to to actually understand the fundamental of this conflict. Am I making sense? Yeah.
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 Got it. Yeah. Yes. Next.
I like how Najmi explained how the current information age has somewhat um changed his perception a little bit. I do share the same experience as him. Um, with the information that I have I have gathered recently, I came to think that um, the 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 conflict with Palestine is not about Zionist um, um, colonizing the Palestine, and then or Israel expanding their territory. It's way beyond that. So yeah, I can see that it's more of a um, other nation trying to this big power, they are fighting between one another, something like that.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
Okay, so other than that, I think because I learn media. I'm communication student. So I learned that the fact that mass media has the power to hold the narrative or to control the narrative, and how this conflict has changed my perspective. Not really changed, but it's actually strengthened my understand that, oh, Western media is so cruel in so doing injustice by having the power of to control the narrative, or the power of to control the media, is actually, now is really revealing the real the real Western lah. So it somehow, before this I learned that, oh, they really hold the narrative, and now with this conflict it's strengthened that, or it's confirmed, or it's affirmed that they really really they really really hold, or they really really put into, in the sense that they really want to hold the narrative by try to win the public opinion by using by using the power that they actually own, the big media or big conglomerate media, to hold the narrative and to actually somehow deceive us as an audience or as a social media users. Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
Yes. Yeah. Got it.
Okay. So same with everyone. I have the same stance, but it's amplified. Right now, it's amplified. Because you see, previously, I became aware with Palestine issue during foundation actually, and we had, we have that kind of sentiment that we need to help our Muslim brothers and so on. But after, like during my degree, I took history, so I'm a history graduate. And I learned about Palestine issue so much that I feel like this burden, I mean, like, it's a big burden because it's like it's a humanity issue rather than anything, right? Because you see, like the Zionist, I mean, like, the Zionist issue stems from the Nazi and so on, and plus colonialism and everything like interconnected. So the thing about how we see us versus them is a psychosocial history as well. That's so much like multidisciplinary discourse. So yeah, at that moment, I mean, I realized that this is a very big humanity issue. I mean, on Palestine. That's why people keep saying that we can't. I mean, like, we can't have world peace if if Palestine issues are not resolved and so on. And I think instead of like like Islamic I mean, like, the Islamic or Muslim nation thing it's not far-fetched from what the humanity suggested. Like, it is something that aligned with it. Like, before this, I thought like, oh, because we need to help our Muslim brothers, and then we realized that it's a bigger issue, it's a humanity issue, but it's actually aligned. So yeah, my perception or stance had not been changed, but it's amplified.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Yes, next.
I think in terms of this particular issue, that we need to make sure that how we perceive the information first. Like, we need to be more rational, and I see that a lot of people that pro to Zionist Israel tend to like listening or getting the information just from the Western uh, newspaper or Western article, or someone that's pro to Israel, and not listening to the any speaker that's pro to the Palestinian. And then there will be no, like, I think we call it in fiqh muwazana. So you cannot do the comparisons between two type or group, and then how you can say that it's fair to saying like your opinion is truly true because you just perceive the information from one aspect. And if we go deeper, your informations or your kind of like pseudo fact that you get is likely so weak and can be like debated more, I think. And then I think in terms of this issue or other issue, we need to be open, like listening to the uh, both parties, and then we can decide properly. And some of the, even though in Malaysian and so on, that's people like I think so-called natural or maybe pro Israel and so on, maybe I think they are we can say like uh, tend to listen to the articles or what has been shared in social media from the uh, pro-Israel people, and not listening to the other perspective. And also there are stigma, like has been stated from our friends before this, like, or the Palestinians and Israel issue is just about religion. So, but we can see that a lot of non-Muslim also support the Palestine uh, and not Israel, because we can see that it's not about only about religions but also about the humanity and so on, that we can see how traumatized we can be, like just watching to the previous video that related to the war right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I think Kumar has left.
Uh, Same with me. Before this, when I was young, I also know the issue, but my perspective in on Islamic, that we must protect our Islam brothers. But now when we grow up, we know there is much more issue on that, on this conflict, like human rights, how they attack each other, like Israel attack without uh, without any enmity, but Hamas attack only with their enemies only. Uh, and on the same time, we don't know how big countries are not helping them. That not only Western, but also big Arab. That they also not helping them. So there is much more issue on this conflict, not just on Islamic matters.
Okay. Yes, I think everyone finished this thing. Yeah. So thanks for sharing your perceptions. I think due to the time commitment, we'll move to the research question 3, and I think Wahidullah Najmi will take over. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first question is like, can you describe any specific information that you gained through social media about the Palestine-Israel war, and how you distinguish between facts and false? And because the time is limited, please be like a little bit shortened.
Since I think this one I think I have answered it this question quite specifically in the previous by brother Hashim. But I would say the specific information that I've gained more through social media is more on political factors that underlies underline in this conflict, and also the economic perspective means we have been like receiving news and information about the economic gain and everything about the war, which is very disheartening. And also how I distinguish between the facts and false informations. I make sure of my source. I look into my source if it is like first-hand source, like from the press, or like how do I say, Motas or Bisan. They are the press that have been journalists that have been on the land itself. So I would consider that as facts. And also there are some news which is very hard to distinguish. So I would just go through and through, making sure of the source, and also trying to look up on Google and TikToks, or like listening to opinions and everything. Because the thing is, in this issue, the main I would say this is a very personal opinion. It could be wrong. I also don't know. I could be wrong. Okay. I would say the mainstream media on this issue is very biased towards Israel or the Zionists. So in order to make sure the information that I received, I would just go through people's opinion, or like postings from how do I say people who have been aware of the conflict itself, like who have been advocating very actively on social media. Yeah, instead of listening directly through the news itself, because here's the thing, I have always believed that I cannot trust the news 100%, because the news have like could be covering up some things, some information that they don't want to leak out to the public. So that's why I've been digging out informations from other sources as well. However, if I found the news to be very in the gray line, whether it is true, I'm not very sure that's true or it's false. So I would just keep it to myself, and I will not repost it on my social media. Do you understand?
Yeah, we got it. Thank you.
I think that's it.
Najmi?
Okay, to describe any specific information that I've gained about this war through the social media, yeah, I think like very much the same with what Jana has said. The fact that I consume the information specifically from the news, specifically from the news, and but I do make sure that the news are not from the Western, because I know that the Western has their own propaganda. And also if I consume it from the social media, to be specific, I make sure that they are coming from the, for example, coming from the journalists. For example, we have Palestinian journalists like Motas Azaiza, and also any journalist from the one that I have been observing, which is Al Jazeera, of course. And to if I ever want to learn about how Western media play with their propaganda, it doesn't means that I unfollow the Western media, for example, BBC, CNN, or any of their journalists. I still follow them. I still read their content, but I put myself in an in a conscious or in a aware or educated position where I know that their narrative are falsely narrated, but from there I learn how how to how to perceive it, as in I believe it or not, right? And
Okay.
I will make sure that it not change my opinion, or might change my public opinion. And to answer the second question about how do I distinguish between the facts and false information, I would say, since I am a journalist, I know how to distinguish. I know how to verify. I know which videos that seems appear to be an old version one, or any images that has been falsely represented to. For example, if this photo or these images are actually falsely, the original is coming from the Syrian war, for example, and it has been falsely represented into Gaza war. So I know how to verify. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I distinguish between false information. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. And Wani? One.
Uh,
Nakibat.
yeah, just the same as Sister Jana and Brother Najmi said. Yeah, it's very short answer because what they said, like basically what I've done, and if there's specific information that I gain from social media, is that I'm aware of this political party that had been working on in this issue, and other than that, the misleading issue in the misinfo. Yeah, I mean, because I myself is working with the social media, so um, I think I have I can distinguish with whether this is a fact or not, because there's also a lot of conspiracy, regarding this issue. Yeah, so.
Okay, understand, got it. And brother Ahmad, Ashraf Ahmad.
Yeah, basically my point is basically just the same. Like we need to make sure that the sources that we get from is as a we can we can say that trusted sources, like for example the news or the article, that we need to really know that who wrote the article and who he or she come from and so on. And also basically we can differ is by ourselves actually. For example, like the reality of Israel and Palestine by ourselves. I think this thing is basically like as general. For example, like we can see like there are too much difference between Israel soldiers and Palestinian soldiers, that I think in any social media we can't see any of Palestinian soldier or Hamas doing TikTok, I think. But in terms of Israel soldiers, we can see a lot. And also in terms of the news from the Western, also they are like, I think it's not like pseudo fact, but like trying too hard to make the audience believe that the journalists or the one that in the news in the Israel is in danger. For example, like, I think maybe you guys have seen like the journalist, it's not a journalist, newscaster, I think, the reporter, like crawling at the roads while the normal citizen of Israel just walking past by them happily, and doesn't seems to be like is there any running from the guns, the gunshot or bomb and so on. But if we see in term of the news from Palestine's view, we can see like a lot of sound from the bomb, from the gunshot, and some of the reporter and journalists has been shot directly live in the news session and so on. But because from this kind of thing, I think we can differ it by our own logic. I think as a, I mean like generally, but in term of maybe in term of the quantity of the people die or the quantity that's of the weapon and so on, obviously we need to refer to the trusted sources such as the news or from trusted article that has been shared worldwide.
Okay, got it. Brother Muhammad and Akmal.
For me, I think one specific information that I get a long time ago is about how Israel start occupied uh, Palestine. It is not their land on the first. So I get information, and about how I differentiate between the two of us is, first I check who post the news or the information. is someone that then be tested, then yeah, we if there's random people, I just we also but 50-50 to believe or not. On the same part, I also read the comment because sometimes when the news is not true, some people will comment that it is edited or not true. So for that I can know. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you. And brother Masnan?
Yeah. So the specific information that I gained recently is basically about what happened in the UN General Assembly when I think South Africa is um, calling for a vote to stop the attack by the Israel. So my approach on this issue is basically more on the political side, more on the how the international community is um, is doing in the UN, in the NATO. That is the primary interest of mine. I don't really look into those news feeds that are covering on the attack, and so it will be easier for me in to answer your second question, whether how do I check the fact is true or not, because um, usually this information that are of my interest, they are just usually are facts, because they have documents of this assembly that we all can check, and yeah, and it will be suffice if you just you know look into a few news articles by different um, news provider. So that is how I fact check my news.
Okay, got it. Great. And brother Itham will ask like few last question, and then this will be all.
Sure, no problem.
Sure, boleh je. I can see the question is very dangerous for someone to answer. So it, uh, I, no, no, I'm okay. I think the recent um yeah Ed, do you want to repeat the question again? Mm. So I would like to answer the second question first because that is shorter. Uh, I did not, and I don't think I will not take any. I would not participate in any activities because I want to stay neutral on the matter. And for the first question, has my perception on the Israeli government has changed throughout the development of the issue. I did. I can I've read some articles which explains how there are faction in the government of the Israel government. Sorry, in the government of Israel. They are actually opposing, the attack. So I can see the uh, macam mana nak kata, um, previously I thought like the Israel is, they are all bad people, just want to expand their empire whatsoever. Uh, but the reality is very much complex than that. It's not just about the Israel. It's about, you know some ideologies that, some of these Israelis are, you know uh, s- these people believe in. And there are also an interference by, by this bigger power that controls how the attack is done, how things develop, how the news are being narrated into. So yeah.
Um, oh, Najmi dulu ke?
Tak apa, Wani dulu.
Okay. So, I will answer the second question first because it's, of course, it's shorter. I went to rallies. I mean, like a lot of rallies, not a lot, but few rallies, and I also give donation because I think that's the least I can do, you know. Okay, so my view on Israeli government throughout the conflict, right? So which means that, yeah, so throughout the conflict. uh, so I knew that the Israeli government is not alone in this. It's not alone, which means that, they have like US, they have like Britain previously, and so on and so forth. So, what I can say is, the Israeli government, I think it's because of the desperation of wanting to have land, because of, what happened in the past, in their own specific consequences of like their situation made them that way, and plus with the help of the Britain, with the help of the US, that also want a government in the Middle East, and that's how Israel created, right? Like saying, the Israeli people itself, we know that they have like disparity between them, but it's not like it's not like they don't have the same mentality. It's because they live in that kind of moment, time and space, and they are not aware of their own abusive behavior or oppression towards the Palestinians. And I can see how pathetic the Israeli government is. But in the same time, I blame I blame the world. I blame, like, because like I've said, the Israeli government is not alone in this. So yeah. So we as we as Muslims, even though like we said that it's not about Islam itself, but we as Muslim, the people that believe in humanity, the people that believe in peace, should take action. But look at us, look at the Muslim nation right now, how weak we are, how how useless we are, hopeless, helpless. But like I've said, maybe this is the awakening that we've been hoping for. Maybe after this, the Muslim nations are going to be stronger. But Muslim nations started with people, the collectiveness of us, the individual, ourselves. So if we equip ourselves with knowledge, with action, we innovate, we make businesses, we became stronger than them. So yeah, maybe we can reach to that kind of peace. So yeah.
Okay, so hang on, I try to understand again the question. My perception towards the Israeli government, right? Okay. Okay. So how do I say this? Because we know that how Israel has been doing so far. I mean, like since way before this ever happened. But throughout this conflict, I think I agree with the opinion that said that Israel, somehow has lost the war of public opinion, because in the emergence of this social media, they no longer able to conceal the truth about their conduct on Palestine. They lost this war of public opinion. Now people has people already bija, or already already intelligent in consuming the narrative of social media. And also um, also we can see that we've seen a lot of massive protests throughout the world. And now it's true that this conflict is not only in the stance of between religion, and but it's beyond that. It's about humanity. We've seen a lot of massive protests that show their anger, or our anger, towards what's happening, not only from Muslim but also other religion, even other religion also pro to Palestine. And throughout this conflict, when I see before this, way before I way before we enter IUM, way before we enter into university, during my high school, for example, I've seen this. My narrative towards this issue is by looking at this perspective of, it's like a Muslim issue, like on the religion or Islam issue. It's between, but over the time, when I grow up, when I learn, when we know to educate ourselves, we know how to we know when we really understand the issue or the fundamental of the issue, we finally I finally found out that, oh, it's not just about religion, it's not about just a Muslim issue, it's beyond that. It's about humanity, you know. And to answer the second question, whether I participate or not, to be honest, I didn't participate in the Malaysian context. I didn't participate the recent one that has been held by our prime minister, for example, has been organized by our Malaysian government, and also from other NGO. I didn't participate because of the due to the time constraint. And but if in the future, if they is the same rely or protest will be done, I will definitely, I would like to join. Yeah. So yeah, that's all for me.
Uh, to answer the first question, my view towards the Israeli government, yes, it did change a little, but however, I would love to hear more from Brother Sol. I think you would have like new information that I do not know, since you just mentioned that within the governance of the Israeli government itself, like within them, there are some opposition towards the action that been taken. That's what I've understood from what you mentioned before. So I would love to hear more, because yeah. And also, for the second question, I do not take any action or engage in any activity to support the Palestinian cause. I mean, I do not donate due to the recent scandal that have been like exposed in the news. I mean, the scandal of apa ni, money laundering or like pecah amanah and everything. So that's why I've been very skeptical towards donating to the certain NGOs. However, I do join the boycott. I mean, I do restrain myself from consuming McDonald's or Starbucks or like any products that supports the Israeli. However, I would like to mention again, I would love to hear more from Brother Saul on your take about the Israeli government. I think that's it. Yeah.
Can I add? Yeah. So in terms of donation, like Jannah, I did not donate just because the fact that I learned that there's a lot of restriction at the border, for example, at the border of Gaza, where people can not easily access into the border and stuff. So like I skeptical in terms of if I ever donate some more money to the, for example, to the official donation for official fund created by Malaysian government, for example, I do doubt whether the money is really being channeled to them, just because not, I think not everyone, not any government are allowed now to enter Gaza even. So yeah, and then the fact that we know that they has Gaza people, or the people in Gaza are being restricted to receive any humanitarian aid, for example. And secondly, I also agree to Vijana that I also joined the boycott, which is I didn't since since the 7th October, I have not buying McDonald's, Starbucks and stuff. Yeah, that's it.
S- Uh, uh, yeah, yeah. I was about to say that. I think I can just WhatsApp Durujana on the news or whatsoever, because it's a rather old apa news update sebenarnya. So I I pun macam dah ingat-ingat lupa je sebab yeah. Yeah.
As I said earlier, that I did not involve too much on the issue, so that I did not have opinion on the Israel government. So I do not actually know whether it's true that they don't know, they also doesn't want to attack Palestine or not. For the second question is, I did not participate in rally or not, but just join boycott. But the boycott also is not fully because it's just fast food that we have other option, so we did not need to eat. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. Okay, for the first one, that my opinion that related to Israeli government, basically might be there are a lot of discussions, particularly about the conflict of Israel politics, especially the government itself. Maybe there are some of the, I think the lineup of the government, the leader maybe from the, I don't know, maybe the from the minister and so on, that oppose to their previous, I think, president, is it, or we call it Prime Minister Netanyahu, and so on. But generally, I can say that we oppose to any kind of violation of rights towards the Palestinians citizen. And also, I think that's all. I think if we wanna go deep, maybe it will be a long discussion. And the second one is about the involvement. I think in terms of the writing and so on, I doesn't write anything. I think formally in terms of article and so on, but I think in terms of sharing the information also counted as our contribution and engagement with this issue, because I think in terms of our involvement and engagement, it's not just about like we joining the march, joining the demonstration, and so on. There is a lot. I think, like for example, I can share from the social media that I have seen like the content creator sharing that he or she, I think, the person or the influencer always do the, like, I think, is it we call it omegle, something like that, like communicate with people around the world, and they for several time get to communicate to the Israeli citizen and even the soldier of Israel. And then we can see like how the soldier of Israel proud of killing people, and then we can see which one is the real and the fact, and which one is the pseudo fact. And I think we need to be open that the involvement and the engagement is not only about uh, boycott and so on. And I think there's a lot of way, but something, maybe some of people are like more focusing on one part. In terms of boycott, I also, alhamdulillah, boycott some of the products that openly supporting the Israel, in terms of Starbucks, I think it's not an issue to me because until right now I haven't drink any of Starbucks because maybe I'm waiting brother Idham, but it's not Starbucks, maybe Zeus and other brand. But in terms of this issue, there are a lot of way. Maybe in the future there are more creative way how we can spread the awareness, not just boycott and sharing the sharing the information to the social media and demonstration. And there might be a new way, maybe a formal discussion or dialogue, I think will be available in Malaysia especially. I think that's all from me.
Oh, final thoughts. Final thoughts. Can anyone airline go first? Sorry.
Should, should it be very factual or like or can it be very informal? I would say the session is fun. I gained new lots of information, and I also think the war. I not love. It's not like I would love to no, but I will always keep up with the news, making sure what's going on and looking forward to what will happen in the future. I think that's it for me.
Um, I think with the help of social media, the awareness, especially global awareness, has been like, boom to the wind. Like very promising. Even though right now the death toll is like 22K, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward for a better future globally, in humanity. So yeah, that's all for me. And thank you for contacting me for this joining this discussion. And I did a lot. And thank you guys, everyone here.
Yeah. Okay, to like the conclusion or to wrap up our session today, from me, I think the most important thing is how we improve ourselves from this kind of issue. not just like simply sharing and so on, but our self in term of our maybe our how we perceive the the world of that, how I think like how we can say that how the Israel and other government that oppress our friends, Muslim, not just in Palestine, and also because I have seen that sometimes we are more focusing on like the what it's in Palestine, but we forgot that our other friends from another part of the world also been oppressed by other governments. And how we improve ourselves in terms of knowledge, because it seems that a lot of people doesn't understand the reality of Palestine and Israel. And I mean like why don't like the Palestine just give out and giving the land to the Israel? It is like you asking someone, like for example like you have uh how can I say someone that go to your house, maybe your friend and so on, to get uh maybe there are discussion and so on, for just a temporary time he go to our house. And for this, after that the person or our friend say that, can you give your house or your property to me?